Good evening, it's meteorologist Michael Fecca. Welcome back to the 9 p.m. all-weather, all-streaming show we do here every night during the workdays and on weekends. We stream it out to all of our streaming platforms, including Facebook and YouTube. So if you're joining from either place, please feel free to leave us a question or a comment. Hopefully I'll be able to go through them all as I go through the forecast, but if not, I'll go through at the very end and see if I can answer anything individually for you. But let's get started here with what we're tracking out over the next couple of days. Well, through the rest of tonight, we can expect partly cloudy skies to filter in from the west. We've got a couple of showers possible later in the overnight hours that will eventually translate into that scattered thunderstorm risk throughout the day on Saturday. I think the better time frame for those thunderstorms will be through Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon, and then everything will start to kind of dissipate through the evening hours with the loss of that daytime heating. We do have that lower end severe weather risk, but widespread severe storms are not expected. I'll break down those details in a moment. But then once those showers and storms clear out for Saturday, we will start to feel that summer-like heat build back in for Sunday, topping out possibly in the upper 80s to lower 90s across the tri-state, and that's going to be all out ahead of a slow-moving cold front that will be moving in Tuesday into Wednesday of next week, and that will reintroduce chances for showers and storms and gradually cool our temperatures back down to around average by the end of next week. So here's a look at what's going on across the country. We've got this area of high pressure just off to our east, and that flow around the high is coming up from the south. So that's why we've had warmer temperatures today compared to the last couple of days. And then we've got this warm front that's going to be lifting up from the southwest, and that's what's going to kind of set up a boundary for those showers and storms to kind of ignite a little bit through tomorrow. So that's what's moving in from the west. But we had a few showers earlier this morning, mainly for folks north of I-64. The rest of the tri-state remained completely dry, and once we cleared out of those showers and clouds, it remained sunny and dry here through the entirety of our Friday. So it shaped up to be a pretty nice way to round out the work week. Now we still have some showers that are off to our southwest, primarily over southeastern Missouri and southern Illinois. This is what will be moving in here later overnight tonight. Taking a look at our temperatures today, again, I mentioned it was a lot warmer out there. We topped out in the upper 70s to right around 80 degrees, 80 here in Evansville, 69 to the north, though, up towards Indianapolis, and around 82 to the southwest there in Paducah. We're running around 3 degrees above average, whereas we were running right around average or even slightly below through much of the week so far. So we'll continue to see that warming trend through the weekend. Temperatures actually haven't cooled off all that much. We have that cloud cover now beginning to move in, and that's going to help insulate those temperatures a bit. So we've only dropped down into mostly the low to mid 70s, 75 here in Evansville, 73 in Henderson and Owensboro. But we should drop down into the mid to upper 60s overnight tonight. Again, a few isolated showers and storms possible late in the overnight hours. And then tomorrow, periods of showers and storms mainly in the morning and into the early afternoon, where we could see a couple of those become strong to severe. But again, it would be more isolated, not expecting anything widespread. But here's that severe thunderstorm risk for Saturday. You can see the better chances for severe weather is well off to our northwest across portions of Nebraska, Colorado, and even into northwestern Kansas. And then this little extension of that marginal risk kind of clips us here in the tri-state. So they did include much of the tri-state, if not all of it, in that level 1 risk. So again, more isolated, not necessarily widespread. So here's a look at the future radar through tomorrow morning. Most of the shower activity will be lifting up to our north, but as it does, we'll have rounds of showers and storms kind of filtering in from the west. So a lot of this activity still remains north of the Ohio River, and as we get through the morning hours, it'll be on and off even into the afternoon. We'll see some spotty showers and storms developing and lifting off to the north. It looks like areas north of the tri-state have better chances for those showers and storms. It all kind of depends on how far north that warm front makes it. If it lags behind a little bit and it kind of centers itself across the tri-state, then we get more in the way of showers and storms, or if it lifts off to the north, obviously that's what this model is kind of depicting here, then areas to our north get more in the way of those showers and storms. But regardless, I don't think it would be a washout of a day for Saturday. I think you just have to keep a close eye on the sky if you have any outdoor plans and you see dark clouds rolling in, or you check your radar app and you can see a storm kind of brewing and it's heading your direction. You want to make sure you still take it seriously. Even if it's not a severe thunderstorm, you still want to get away from lightning. Lightning is just as dangerous, and you don't want to be caught outside in that. So That's what we're looking at headed into tomorrow. Temperatures will climb up into the mid 80s for Saturday, but then we really bounce up into the upper 80s to lower 90s by the time we get into Sunday. And Sunday is also going to be very sunny. So it's going to be sunny, warm, and humid. So it is going to be a real taste of summer there to round out the weekend. And those warmer temperatures will persist into the start of the work week. For Monday, we'll have partly cloudy skies, maybe a spot pop-up shower possible in the afternoon. That's going to be more of that air mass kind of thunderstorm where it kind of bubbles up and then bubbles back down with the heating of the day. Temperatures top out in the upper 80s, and then that cold front slowly moves through on Tuesday and into Wednesday. So after Tuesday, we'll cool back down to right around average, which is in the mid to upper 70s. I think our better chances for showers and storms next week will be primarily Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday evening. That will linger into Wednesday morning, and then that front will kick off to our south and east, and then high pressure should build in to the north. So that will help cool us off and keep us dry at least through Thursday and Friday before we see some more rain chances moving back in by the time we get into next weekend. In terms of any severe weather threats headed into next week, again, tomorrow we have that marginal risk. Next week, it looks like there may be a little bit more of a setup for some organized severe thunderstorms, but it still looks like the best ingredients for that is going to be off to our west. So you can see this yellow area off across portions of southern and western Illinois, much of Missouri there. That includes the St. Louis area. This level 2 risk hardly clips Wayne County, and then the rest of us aren't really outlooked for anything. But that area may shift around a little bit here over the next couple of days. And if it happens to shift a little bit more in the direction of the tri-state, we'll let you know, and that would put us a little bit more under the gun for that severe weather threat. But at this point in time, widespread severe weather here in the tri-state isn't much of a concern through next week. But we'll be keeping a close eye on it. And with all those showers and storms expected to move through, we are expecting a little bit of rainfall. And, it's not a lot. It's not going to be a drought-busting rain, but any little bit will help prevent the drought from getting worse. But unfortunately, it looks like the areas that are going to be seeing the least amount of rain across western Kentucky is where the worst of the drought is. But in general, we could be picking up anywhere between a ½ inch up to an 1.5 inches in some spots. And I think the heavier amounts would likely remain off to the west or to the north of the Evansville area, where most of those frontal boundaries are actually going to be moving through. And here's a look at that latest drought monitor. This updates every Thursday. We haven't actually seen much of a change compared to what it was just a few days ago. They have expanded this abnormally dry area, but much of the actual drought conditions are still confined to western Kentucky, where they're under that moderate to even extreme drought, especially across Hopkins, Muhlenberg, and Ohio County. That's where that red color is. But there's a look at your 7-day forecast. Let me go ahead and take that full screen, and I'll walk you through it here, just kind of wrap it up in a little bit of a bow. So through the next couple of hours, we should stay dry, just some increase in cloud cover. And then late overnight into tomorrow morning is when we'll start to see some of those showers begin to drift in from the southwest. And then we'll have the chance for some scattered thunderstorms through Saturday morning and into Saturday afternoon. Again, an isolated strong to severe storm can't be completely ruled out. So keep an eye on that, especially if you have any outdoor plans. If you hear thunder, make sure you go inside. But once those showers and storms clear out through Saturday, we will dry out into Sunday. Temperatures climb all the way up into the upper 80s to lower 90s with plentiful sunshine, a real taste of summer. We'll hold on to those warmer temperatures even into Monday, perhaps a pop-up shower or storm possible during the heating of the day, but I think the better chances for showers and storms arrives along that cold front Tuesday and into Wednesday before we mostly dry out for the end of next week with gradually cooling temperatures back down to around average. But let me go ahead and check out some of the comments. Looks like Suzanne is saying good evening to you. Ricky Brown, good evening, and good evening to you, Cheyenne. Zach is asking about any threats for supercell thunderstorms next week. A little bit too far out to really nail down any specific thing like that, but a severe weather threat could emerge here, especially as that cold front moves through on Tuesday. I think Tuesday, if we do see a severe weather risk here in the tri-state, it would likely be then, because that's when that cold front will be passing through. But it's a little bit too early to tell what storm mode would be like with that cold front moving in. So good question, but unfortunately I don't have a good answer for you at this time. So just continue to stay tuned. And again, we're not expecting anything widespread next week at this point in time either. So nothing to get too worked up about. Just keep an eye on the sky, especially tomorrow. We know a lot of folks are probably going to be outside trying to enjoy the weekend. We don't want you to get caught out in any showers or storms unexpectedly. So that is kind of the gist here over the next 7 days. I'm going to hop off the live stream and I'll send you guys over to 14 News at 10 for all the latest news and weather headlines. Until then, everybody stay safe and have a great rest of your night.